Hello, guys. Welcome to Become Reboot. I'm Aga, your host today. I invited Pan Jianfeng to today's discussion. I met him a couple of months ago in Shanghai, and he was talking about his art. He's an amazingly talented and creative artist. He calls himself as a son of calligrapher, so it was really intriguing. But the way he's talking about his art is just amazing and super interesting. But then I found out that he moved from Shanghai, 26 million people city, into a small, picturesque Finnish village. How crazy is that? I thought. And then this is why I wanted to interview him and discuss that. And please check this movie out. We talk about separateness, being global citizen, and also creating an open house for him and his family in the new environment. And what is important for him, and what kind of habits he also needed to take from China to Finland to feel comfortable with life. Check this out. Also, I post here under the movie his website. Go and see his amazing art. It's worth it, guys. So check it out. Thank you, and talk to you soon.
So now I'm in the perfect meeting room.
Beautiful, and your art looks perfectly there. I mean, because this is like a
Yeah,
and contrast, and also cultural contrast.
yeah,
You know?
incredible. And yeah, both of us are even our friends. He had some German architect friends visited last week, and they super love it. They love it, and now looks like they asked me to send my art work in PDF to him in Berlin. So probably
Who knows?
I have another reason to visit Berlin. Yeah, in the next near future. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, Akula it's beautiful. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
very old house in Oulu city, northern part of Finland.
Absolutely.
So we spend every summer holiday here, basically. Yeah.
You should treat yourself as the luckiest person, because you know, I mean, Shanghai, comparing to what you had there, this accessibility to nature, which is unique in Finland, I think it's incredible. And my dog doesn't know what the grass is in Shanghai. You know, this. So Pan, let's start this short conversation. I'm super happy to see you finally, because we met in Shanghai, and you introduced yourself as an artist, and this was a really interesting encounter, because I was super engaged in your talk about how you create art and this sensitivity you have, and it was amazing. At the same time, what intrigued me even more, you as a Shanghainese, not even Shanghainese, right? Because you're not from Shanghai, but you spent 17 years or even more years in Shanghai, right? As an artist. And then you move to Finland, to the small village. And this would fascinate me the most, because I currently live in Shanghai. And this comparison between these two spaces in the world, for me, it's interesting. So how it all happened? Tell us shortly this.
Yeah. Of course, I'm also keep asking, myself, how come you end up here? I just always think about like the Chinese saying, like this Chinese saying, 不识庐山真面目，只缘身在此山中. If I say it in English, probably not really correct, but the idea, the meaning is like, the reason you cannot really see the true face of the mountain Lu, or Lu Mountain, is a famous mountain in China, in Jiangxi, only because you are inside the mountain. So you can't see the whole picture of the mountain. So my previous life in Shanghai or in China, I feel like it's a big mountain there, right? So, and it's difficult to see the true face of your own culture and yourself if you are living in your own comfort zone, right? So I think moving to Finland, or sometimes I call it self-exile to Finland, consider as a perfect way to 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 have a better idea about yourself.
Absolutely. Pam, do you talk about this previous life? Because I've got this book and I was
Yes,
wondering,
it's a previous life. Yeah,
this is previous life, right? And the book
yes,
is interesting. It's full of dynamics, different
uh-huh.
stories, art,
Yeah, yeah,
searching, dynamics, you know, this kind of young energy. You know, it's even the colors are so young, you
yeah,
know. Even
yeah,
it's intriguing. You can always see this book on the
yeah,
shelf.
yes,
And then you transformed yourself in a different kind of sensitivity, I would say.
Mm.
Uh, and maybe this sensitivity, like you said, this was previous life, but then you created this kind of approach that you were able to go to Finland because I think, like you said last time we talked, it was just like gave you this opportunity, right? And then you
Mm.
switch from Shanghai to Finland. Can you tell us also where do you live exactly?
I think the very the reason I mean Shanghai or the big city attract the young worker from over the world. I think one of the reasons, of course, the city is very lots of opportunities. You can do many things, and like also in this book, you as you said, it's there's a lot of stuff actually happening there, a lot of thinking and a lot of experiments and but this also create a problem. You know, you have no focus, and that's the problem. Because I finally discovered I will never be happy if I have no focus, and you are totally exhausted by all different ideas, different events, different opportunities. You are just running around, for different. I normally say like in Shanghai, you are always busy for somebody else's party. Where's your party? So
Absolutely.
so I think that I need some kind of focus for my life and for my art. So so what can I do? The first step, like I explained in my second lecture in the wooden box, right? So I try to develop the kind of 3 steps. So first step, if you want to change your life or your art, is separation. You need to separate yourself from your current life, and like you have to leave the mountain first. You have to leave the mountain or step back or just leave the mountain basically. So this is what I did. Theoretically, I stepped one step back to a little bit far into the north to the Finland. So this is the yeah first step. And second step is transformation, right? And once you leave the mountain already, the transformation already started actually. And then we have a reconstruction your life basically. So yeah, this kind of 3 steps I was talking about in my lecture. So go to Finland is like first step. And now when I look at all my new drawings, and I'm very happy to see, okay, there are something new happening in my art. And of course, I mean, yes, sometimes I talk to my artist friend, if you want to develop your art, maybe you just, do something like me, separate yourself, and go somewhere else first. Yeah.
Absolutely. So where is the location of yours now in Finland? Because it's also very interesting because it's a village, right? Very picturesque, very unique.
It's probably the little town called Bolovo. Bolovo, yeah, Porvoo, yeah, considered as the most beautiful town in Finland. It's like a live wooden architecture museum, people call it. And it's very close to Helsinki, only 50 minutes by bus. Yeah, back to like 6 years ago when I had to decide which place I have to live in. Helsinki city is the capital, of course, of Finland. I have many friends who live there, and I'm supposed to find some working space and accommodation in Helsinki. And but it's super expensive, like Shanghai. Then you can also choose living in somewhere a little bit away from the city center, like Bolovo, 15 minutes by bus, like I said. Then the price is become much cheaper, and the same price you can in Helsinki city you can have like a one room apartment, and in Bolo you can have what I have now, like a three wooden house with big yard,
Absolutely.
900 square meters, and you own the land basically. Yeah.
You are
So it's
landlord now.
yeah, I'm landlord.
How did you do that?
Incredible.
Because Shanghai
Yeah.
is different. 27, 26 million people living here, right?
Yes. Yes.
And now you moved to a small village in Finland. So
Mm.
how did you create also your space in different country? Because I live in Shanghai and I'm European. For
Yeah.
me, it's really fascinating country, but different. So
Yeah.
it's the cultural clash and how you find in there yourself, and what was important for you to transform from China to Finland. Like it was your root, and you say, okay, this is important for me.
Yeah, I think now it's not a strange idea, like as a global citizen, right? And you are a global citizen, me too. We just actually we are doing same. You
I
have
like, yeah.
you move from Europe to Shanghai, and I moved Shanghai to, but actually Shanghai is not China, right? Shanghai is already a quite international city. We never see Shanghai is I mean, we always say Shanghai is Shanghai.
Yeah.
And when you look at my book, all this project is between my Chinese insight and the visualization for some international clients. So Shanghai is already very international. So and I never really like into Chinese system. I speak English mainly in Shanghai with my friends, and of course I have some local friends. But anyway, so lifestyle in Shanghai is already quite global. Yeah, let's say globalized, right? And the problem with Shanghai is, like I said earlier, it's like lots of opportunities. It's really you lack with the nature, right? There's no mountain in nature in Shanghai. And so Bolo, this little town, is surrounded by nature, and Finland is also have a very big, lots of forests. Probably the right they have most forests in probably in Europe, right?
Okay.
And of course, it's really different culture. But I believe once you become a global citizen, and all our communication and daily operation is very much based on human to human, right? So when it comes to human, and yeah, it's doable, let's say, right?
Yeah.
And you have to be, of course, you have to, since you left your own mountain, right? You are not supposed to put your mountain in your head. Let it go. Come on, relax, and you have to see some another mountain, right? You have to respect
Yeah.
other people's mountain, and taste something different, and try different landscape in other mountain, right? So I
Yeah.
learned how to survive in Finland. In little town, you need to chop the wood. You need to make your own sauna. You have to face the long dark winter, right? You have to learn be silent. You don't need to talk to anybody. In Shanghai, always have to talk, and people, you just couldn't help yourself to talk. If you don't talk, you feel you are out of the conversation basically in Shanghai. But in
Yeah.
Finland, people are very quiet, so they only talk what they have to talk, I guess. So I'm learning, and also very much appreciated. The beauty of silence when you go to forest. Come on, there's nobody there. You can talk to a tree, right? There are lots of trees. You can talk to a tree. And how can you talk to a tree? How can you talk to nature? This is what I have to learn, right? And you are just nobody basically in another mountain. So which is also really nice. You have to restart everything. And, I mean, when I say it's really nice, because you start to learn something new, right? You are not be your king, all the time. It's gonna be, you will never learn anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course, there's lots of challenge, completely different culture. But yeah, I'm learning. I'm learning, and I'm doing well. Let's say, yeah, I have many new friends, and I will simply look at my art I'm developing. I'm so happy, and yeah, I'm already kind of happy enough.
Yes.
Apart from as a family, of course, Finland have a good education for kids. I have a 10 years old boy, so I'm so happy to bring him to Finland, and he's the luckiest Chinese boy, I have to say.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember because you create amazing art, but also I remember when you show us in one of the lecture, you showed a beautiful picture when it's very dark in your studio in Finland, and then you create art. And I think now you mentioned the silence. Can you say that also the space that you created in Finland, part of it is just silence? It's like it felt like Finland is connected somehow to this, like you said, it's just existing there. So it's silence, right? So it's like
Yeah.
yang energy in Shanghai, yin in Finland, especially in winter.
You are
Like some
abusing Chinese
people say,
idea.
uh, but
一个的 yeah,
yeah, but
kind of,
it's somehow
kind
like
of.
this. Because in Shanghai you never feel this yin energy unless you create it in your own space, like a sanctuary in your own space. But the city
Yeah,
is vibrant. It's like yang all the time. It never sleeps.
yeah, exactly.
So what was important for you to bring, and how you created this wooden house with so many different features that was new to you? You have create a studio, a life for your family. So what was the most important part to take from China and transform there in terms of space, living?
I think um, sometimes when I compare my home to other Finnish friends' home or my neighbors, let's say, there's a lot of like a retired couple living in this beautiful old town, and we are still young, and we need a little bit social work. You see, then because also we are running like like Airbnb little business. When I started this Airbnb, and some neighbor feel, of course we do it really quiet and very very nicely, no never bother to any our neighbor. But when I'm talking about I guess some kind of reaction, yeah, some kind of comment, people feel like feel a little bit strange about why do you want to do this Airbnb. And but actually we will think about like uh, we like this idea of openness. Open your home to other people instead of keep your own like a private place. Nobody allowed to come, or you have to. Yeah, we like this kind of openness. If you consider as a part of my earlier Chinese life culture, let's say openness. Yeah, like when I think about that, and I always think about like my parents' home when I was kids, and our home always full with students. Like my father is a calligrapher. He's like a president of Calligraphy Association for his whole life in my hometown. So our home always full with different peoples. All the parents brought their kids to our home. In the evening, sometimes we have to host like three different families, and or sometimes they will just join together to discuss, and if someone never had if someone didn't have dinner, okay, of course you're welcome to sit on table with us without any like booking, so this kind of like openness culture of my parents' home, also of course create my personality or create my idea of my home. So after we moved to Finland and we have such a big house, and so the idea it's so easy. Like, okay, let's open part of our home for guests, right? And we can run this Airbnb, and also my kids the boy can, have the opportunity to talk to strangers. To host stranger is I think this kind of welcome things is. If you go to Chinese village, I'm sure the village people, they really welcome anybody, right? If you're hungry, they welcome you to have a lunch, dinner, whatever, or even sleep there, without paying anything. It's kind of hospitality. Yeah, I think it's really nice if we can see that as a part of Chinese culture. So this is very important. I'm kind of heritage and brought it to Finland. And of course, same time you have to be quiet, not to bother your neighbors. Like I mentioned, it's very important. Yeah.
Different,
Yeah.
a little different culture of silence, I would say. You really inspire
Yeah.
expression, culture of silence. Not to speak too much, be quiet, and be in your own, self. So you opened for other people, so you have
Yes.
Airbnb. Do you think that your house, your home, it's also this kind of cultural mix? Like, you have your art, and probably this is,
Yeah,
I just
sure.
imagine this, but one time I visit you, I hope.
Yeah,
So
sure. Absolutely. Absolutely.
so is it like a mix of Chinese art? Your art is Chinese art because that's the this is yours, but this is kind of as well a mix of the cultural things. And I know you are a great fan of lucha, of green tea, specifically
Yeah.
you. Yeah, your tea is coming from China a long
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
till it approaches Finland. So
Yes.
how important for you is also those little habits, these rituals, that
Mm.
things that connects you also to China, right?
Yes. Yeah. I think first of all, when I think about your earlier question, you said when you come to Shanghai, you have your little comfort place, right? And for me, yeah, it is important to have your own comfort space. But at the same time, as a new immigrant in Finland, I wish my home can become a laboratory, like a commune, laboratory for creating a new culture, mix West and East. If you look at my art, you already had you can see it. But in the daily life base, of course, I, I I welcome all friends from different region, and I wish them come to my place to have a cup of tea. Yeah, and the Lü Cha, of course, is a material, a material to use to host friends, and uh, uh, but also there's another I was also remind me something else, like apart from comfort home and also a cultural lab. I was also think about what is the idea of a home. Actually, it's quite interesting because I I had a couple really interesting experience when I invited with friend by my friends to visit the forest, and the forest probably will become in the future, maybe it's like will become my new home, let's say. Yeah, this is a very Finnish way, actually. Yeah, Finnish people treat forest as kind of home, actually. So I start like the idea, because I feel like I just talk to my wife, I just talk to her and say, should we just, pack up all this necessary, like a daily based stuff in a very minimalist way, if we can pack somewhere, and then we can leave we can leave the physical home, whenever we want.
Absolutely.
The reason we are thinking about, I think probably it's because once you have less uh, engagement with a physical space, actually that's the more spiritual space or spiritual home you can create, especially in forest or somewhere else. Yeah, sorry, just
So,
just
so
what you want to.
yeah, because I wanted to ask you what is home to you, and somehow you partly define it, answer this question that it's
Yeah,
also connected to spirituality. So less it's finding your own home inside
yeah,
and
yeah,
connect
yeah,
to nature, right? Not to be
yeah,
separate, but be together.
yeah,
And
yeah.
this is fascinating.
Mm.
Do you think also you take, because you said the forest is one of those things that you appreciate and have some ideas, but do you also find it in your home now in Finland?
Yeah,
Like part of nature that comes into your house, it's already there even. And
yes,
being the second component of the space, it somehow
mm,
puts as a puzzle. When you say I put the puzzle, it's like silence, it's nature,
mm,
it's already there, everything you need.
yes, yeah, exactly. I mean, in my own home, there's always some birds visiting and some wild cat or hedgehog actually visiting every afternoon, 4.5 hour, yeah, around 4 o'clock. The hedgehog family, and every day they're walking through my yard, and also some birds, they're visiting every morning, and then you see the flower, different wild flower growing, every day. You discover something new, which is you can never have this I mean, in Shanghai you can have a little balcony if you have some green, but never like that. Yeah, so in my yard, in my home, already I have this kind of connect with nature, but there's the other nature I was talking, the forest I was talking about is even wild. Yeah, it's like really raw, basically raw, uh, primitive, right? It's yeah,
Mhm.
and then you have then your it helps you to uplift your understanding of the nature, the universe, cosmos. It's totally different. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Ah,
different level basically. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. This is also how I
Yes.
perceive space and this connection with nature.
Yeah.
If that's the last question, if you were asked by somebody, like how to create this kind of connection with the immediate space, with the direct space, how to, because that the house is just a structure. The house
Yeah.
in Shanghai is just a structure. The house in Finland is just a structure, but is a person
Yeah.
has attitudes, this approach.
Mm.
So what would you say is the most important thing to start getting this connection, creating better living, curating better life whenever you go? Like you said, I'm a good citizen.
Yeah.
Tomorrow you'll
Yeah.
go to Hawaii and you will do the
Yeah.
same. But what is the most important part?
Yeah. Like I mentioned earlier, separation. Of course, the separation can be physically like me, put my body somewhere else, right? If you cannot put your body to somewhere else, what can you do, right? So I have to say, if you can, for example, if you can do meditation for half an hour, or you just stop thinking, or you just don't talk to anybody, separate yourself, spiritually. I think it's doable. Yeah, if I'm moving back to Shanghai, and in reality I don't have such beautiful nature like in Finland, what I have here. If I moved back to Shanghai today, and I will try my best to repeat this practice, separate yourself. Of course, it's nice if you can build a little green area, green garden, or actually tea room, right? Tea corner. If I don't have a tea, I have a tea house here. Come on, and a whole house for tea. Yeah, yeah. But also I don't mind to have. I used to have a tea corner. Yeah, before I have a tea room, I have a tea corner And my friends call it tea station. It's a tiny corner of my home. I hide myself there, have a cup of tea. You see, tea culture also really helps to separate yourself because if you are thirsty, you just drink water, right? Okay, you can solve that problem. But tea is something different. You smell, and you have to prepare the tea with your sincere heart, right? So you have, yeah. If you want to really appreciate the beauty of having a cup of tea, you see. Yeah.
Absolutely. Wow. I
So it's
wouldn't.
also doable. Yeah. Also in the busy city. Yeah.
Yeah, this
Yes.
is my lucha as well.
Yeah.
This
Exactly.
is my,
Smell it.
yeah,
And you,
this is my
if
ritual.
you
So
calm down, yeah, and leave your mountain, for a while spiritually, when you open your eyes, all the mountain disappears, right?
right.
Close the eye, let it go, and
It is fascinating and so interesting, and also a good idea how to connect everywhere you go, because
yeah,
everywhere you can create a space that you are comfortable. Like people
yeah,
also say after now, post pandemic or post coronavirus or in the middle, they say my space is my sanctuary because they started to be connected more with themselves.
yeah. Exactly, exactly. Yeah, this pandemic, if we say something good about that, definitely, people's right. This is the good side of
Absolutely.
having this pandemic. Yeah,
Yes, thank you so much, Juan.
yeah.
I
You're welcome.
appreciate it, and it
Yeah,
was fascinating. I love talking to you and seeing your beautiful smiling face and have this happiness and joyful approach to life. This is
yeah,
I think this is something that I really appreciate and like. Thank you so
yeah,
much. Enjoy your
yeah.
now glass of wine.
Yes,
I'll
keep
stick to
peace.
that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah,
See you
thank you
soon.
for your talk. Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye bye.